Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about the new Urban Decay Backtalk palette. I've had this literally since the day it released. Yeah, the day it released, I went to Sephora and picked this baby up, and as I was buying it, the Sephora employees had like raved about it. So I felt really good about buying it. I think this palette is so pretty. Oh yeah, and by the way, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right in. I think this palette is so pretty. I just don't know how it'll look on deeper skin tones, so I'm here to find out for myself and help you guys out there find out as well. Do have two blushes. Well, first things first, this mirror is double-sided and it comes out. And then in the palette, we have two blushes, two highlighters, and we have 6 eyeshadows. 2, 4, 6, 8 eyeshadows. I'm sorry. 8 eyeshadows. This is based off their lipstick that is called Backtalk. That seems to be really, really popular. I don't own it. I don't own that, but like these colors are right, as you all may know, are right up my alley. The blushes and highlighters seem really, really pretty. I'm gonna also do swatches in this video as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert some swatches right here for you guys to see of the blushes and the highlighters, and then also all 8 of the eyeshadows. So today we're gonna be doing an eye look with these. As you can see, everything is done on my face. I don't have any blush or anything. I actually don't even have on contour, even though it looks like I do. I really don't. I just highlight it underneath. That's probably why it looks like that. But my whole face is done. Eyeshadow primer. And this is my Urban Decay Primer Potion. And this is like one of my favorite eyeshadow primers. I don't really use anything else. And the plan is for the eyes to strictly use the palette. So I'm first gonna take the shade Backtalk, which is like this really rosy pinky shade. It's kind of light. So I'm gonna take the shade Backtalk and I'm gonna start that out as my transition. I'm gonna use the mirror to see if this mirror is even really practical to use to do your eyes. I mean, you can see both your eyes clearly, so it should be fine. And in the pan, I didn't think this shade would show up on my skin, but it is. I'm actually a little shocked that this is actually showing up on my skin. So now that I have that shade on to my liking, maybe I should zoom you guys in a tad. Now that I have that shade on and it's up to my liking, I'm going to take the shade WTF, which is really warm matte brown. There's 1, 2, 3 mattes in this palette, and the rest of them are shimmers. So WTF is a really nice matte brown. It's actually really pretty, and I'm going to use this to try and like warm up the crease a little bit. I don't think this shade is warm enough to, like, deep enough for my skin tone to warm up my crease. Actually, it's not bad. I guess just for me, I'm just gonna get a bigger mirror. For me, I prefer something a little bit deeper in the crease, but I'm gonna stick to what I said, and I'm gonna try to stick to only using this palette. So I'm just gonna take a flat brush, and I'm gonna go into the first shimmer of the eye look, which is gonna be the shade 180. 180 is a really deep, dark shimmery brown shade. I wouldn't really call it a bronze, but it's a really dark shimmery brown. I'm gonna add that on the outer part of the lid. I'm just gonna pack it on. I'm also gonna pack it a little into that outer V to create like a little bit of like depth and darkness over there. The pigmentation isn't all that. I'm gonna try with, I'm not gonna wet my brush just yet because I don't really want this shade to be too much, because I'm gonna add 2 more shimmer shades, but It's okay. It's not crazy. So next, I'm gonna take the shade Attitude, which is a really pretty shimmery like violet. Like, that's so pretty. And we'll see how this looks with the finger. I'm going to use it. I'm going to place that on the center of my lid and blend it into the like the front part of my lid over here, and make sure I blend it into the shade 180. This shade is not bad. The pigment really isn't bad. I'm going to switch back to that flat brush just so I can like clean it up a little bit and make sure it's like neat over there. Yeah, I'm going to the shade Curve, which Curve and Bare look really similar, except Curve is like a peachy light shimmer and Bare is more of like a bronzy light shimmer. But I'm going to go into Curve, and I'm going to take my finger again. I'm not saying you have to use your fingers with this palette, but I mean, sometimes the finger is the best blending tool. That shade is so pretty. I'm gonna, ooh, almost dropped everything. I'm actually just gonna take a small brush and I'm gonna go back into that shade, and I'm just gonna really get in there. I put a little too much, so I'm gonna go ahead and blend that away. So this is how we're looking. It's not bad. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna go back into, what is it called? The shade Backtalk, and smoke it out a little bit. I want the lower lash line to be a little bit deeper, so I'm gonna go into the blush called Double Take, which is like this one right here, and see how that looks. It's a little bit better. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead of camera. I'm gonna add liner and lashes, and then we'll get into the cheek products. And this palette for the eye look, I think it's really pretty, perfect for every day. I think this eyeshadow, when we're talking about the eyeshadow side of the palette, I think it's very user friendly. I use my fingers. It worked well with the brush. The pigment isn't like the Naked Smoky pigment or the Naked Heat pigment, or even the Urban Decay Clad with Christian Leanne pigment. That palette is like crazy pigment, but this palette isn't that, but it's not bad. And on my skin tone, the shade is showing up really, really pretty. You can create a really simple look with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my eyes, do the other eye. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I just went ahead and added a quick lash. I like my eye look. It's great for every day, and it's really, really pretty. So now we're gonna get into these face products. I need a clean blush brush. So we're gonna try out these blushes. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit. Nervous. So the first one is Cheap Shot. I don't know, Cheap Shot. It looks like a satin blush, like a pinky purple, like mauve satin blush. And I'm gonna pack it on my brush a little bit like that, and I don't have on any blush. And we're gonna see. Oh, it has a shimmer to it. That's pretty. It's pretty. I personally think it could have, for my skin tone, could have been a tad bit deeper. I'm gonna add a little bit more. It has potential to come off a little ashy, but it's a pretty color. I just think for me, it could have been a little deeper. I just ordered the NARS Wanted 2 cheek palette. I cannot wait for that to get here. I would wear this on top of a already like kind of deep blush to give like a nice sheen. Or I might even wear it by itself. I might. I don't hate it, but I don't love it, but I do like it. I think it's pretty. So now we're going to get into Double Take, which is right here. And we're going to apply that to the cheeks as well. I just flip my brush over. I put on a little bit of too much of that. And this seems like more of like a matte blush. And it's like a mauvey, like a deep mauve. Don't mind my face, like my foundation and stuff. It's not good today. My brows ain't good, nothing is good. But I like this blush. It's like a really nice deep mauve. This would be like that perfect everyday blush. So now we're gonna get into the highlighters. So I have my e.l.f. highlighting brush. I really do like this. I'm gonna first start off with the shade Low Key, which is right here. And this is like a pinky, like a peachy gold, strong on the peach shimmer. So I'm gonna try it on this side. I'm just gonna go ahead and pack that on. Not much is coming on the brush though, but we're not gonna judge. Even with the mirror that the palette comes with, you can see your face clearly. That is pretty. Wow, that is really pretty. Sorry about my phone, you guys. I wasn't really sure, but it's really pretty. And this again is Low Key. It's like the pinky peachy one. This is really pretty. I'm gonna add a little bit more. This formula isn't chunky. It's actually pretty smooth. Look at that glow. That is nice. I like this highlighter. So now we're gonna get into the last item, the last highlighter, which is Party Foul, which is right here. And this is a really light champagne gold. So I'm gonna flip my brush over. Whoa. 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 Just gonna tap a little bit of that off. And we're just gonna, wow. Wow. Urban. It's a really light champagne with the nice pink undertone. And normally highlighters that are like this type of, but like a nice, normally highlighters have like a pink undertone that are light. They give me that ashy look, or they give like a cast. I don't see the cast, but this is pretty and it's glowy and it actually looks really natural. Wow, bring it down the nose a little bit, sis. This is nice. Guys, so that was everything. So we're gonna go ahead really quickly and get into final thoughts. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get into final thoughts on this palette and how I feel. This palette retails for $46, I believe. Yeah, I think it was around $46. I will leave a link for it down below. Overall, I really do like it. That highlighter is so pretty. Overall, I really do like it. Again, do not mind my foundation and concealer and brows. My makeup isn't its best today. When it comes to the eyeshadows, I think this palette, again, let me say, is very beginner friendly. You can really just, it's a really nice everyday palette. It's a really nice everyday palette. You have your neutral tones, and then you also have some pops of colors if that's what you want to rock for that day. The only thing I really feel like this palette is missing is a really nice deep chocolate brown, which is what I would use for my skin tone. I need that deep dark brown, even like a deep dark plum. That's what I really think this palette is missing. 180, I really would love to see how that looks wet. If you were just to take WTF, that medium brown, run it through your crease, blend it out with a little bit of Backtalk, and add 180 all across the lid. I think that would be so pretty if it comes up a little bit more pigmented. It isn't bad on the eyes right now, but it's very lackluster, so I would love to see how that shade is wet. But out of all the shades I used today, I love them all with an exception of 180. That was my least favorite shade that I used today. WTF is a really, really pretty brown, but for me, that's more of like a transition shade. Attitude is beautiful. Curve is beautiful. The shade Backtalk, that first matte I went in with, I was so shocked that it came out with my skin tone, but it's a beautiful shade. So when it comes to the eyeshadow palettes, it's a thumbs up for me. Yeah, I enjoyed the eyeshadows. And Urban Decay, for me personally, I tend to really enjoy their eyeshadow formula. But this palette isn't the pigment that we're used to seeing, and I actually don't mind that, because with this palette I see myself creating really soft, pretty, everyday looks, and I think that's what they were going for, and if they did, they hit a home run with that. And I think that's why we're not seeing the pigment that we're accustomed to. Now for the cheek products, I was pleasantly surprised. Let me take this mirror out. I just keep holding it down because I don't want to blind you guys. And the mirror actually is really good. This is a great travel palette actually. The mirror is really good. You can see a whole. You're doing your eyes, you can see both eyes clearly. You're doing your cheeks, you see both cheeks clearly, your lips and everything. The mirror is actually really nice. And I love that it's magnetic and it just holds right in the middle of the palette. For the cheek products, Cheap Shot is a cheap shot for me. I'm not like in love with it. I would wear it, but paired with something else, like a really dark, sharp contour, like sculpted and like dust it a little bit. And I would like have to, on my skin tone, or if my skin tone is deeper, you have to build it a little bit. But if you're deeper than me in skin tone, for you, I see it coming up a little ashy, because even on me, it's not quite there yet with the ashiness, but it could get there, you know what I mean? So I'm not in love with it. I wouldn't, like, I don't see myself really reaching for it. Now Double Take, on the other hand, I think that is a beautiful everyday blush. It's a nice blush of like a mauvey pink. It's really, really pretty. It reminds me a little of Tarte Exposed blush, just a little bit deeper, and I loved that blush at a point. Also, you know, for cheap, let me just put in, for Cheap Shot, if you like the tone of it but it's too light, try Cabana Boy by The Balm. It's giving me Cabana Boy vibes, except this is a shimmer. Cabana Boy is a matte, and Cabana Boy is like 2 shades deeper than Cheap Shot. So if you like the tone of Cheap Shot, but you're just like, no, Britt, we're not gonna rock with that, the Cabana Boy by The Balm is one of my favorite blushes of all time. Definitely check it out. Now, so your Double Take. Now, these highlighters, love them. Both of them. They're really nice and glowy. They're not chunky. These things are pretty smooth and glowy. Like, I really love the highlighters in here. So overall, I think this palette is a good buy. I think that it is worth the money for what you're getting, because this is a great travel palette. It's in a nice hard cardboard packaging, and I really do like it. I really do enjoy it. I would definitely be putting this in my makeup bag and, you know, go. And it is dark skin girl approved. Okay, it is dark skin girl approved. So I hope you guys found this video informative. Links to this palette will be down below. I'm gonna go ahead and skate. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts. I really want to know what you guys think of this. If you own it, how do you feel about it? If you're my skin tone or darker, I really want to know how you feel about it. Everybody, I don't know how you feel. If you're like lighter skin tone, you're pale, what do you think? Let me know. Let me know. I am loving, what's that called? Low key? I forgot already. That fast. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Mwah.